So here are the highlights from the Seattle Supercross. Eli Tomac has won 2 of 3, actually 3 of 4 races. Last time we've come here. Jet Lawrence riding a 3-race win streak, and everybody else knowing they've got to try to stop him. Some very treacherous track conditions. Adam Cianciarulo, Jason Anderson, they go wide in turn 1, and there is a Ghostbusters hole shot from Chase Sexton.
Yeah, Sexton riding well all day long. During qualifying practice, the practice were limited because of the weather or the track conditions. But we didn't even mention Cooper Webb's name all day long. Not in qualifying practice, not in the heat. And I said before the race, I said this is sneaky and this is his style of track.
And he goes around Anderson, now he goes around Roczen, and does have the leader Sexton in sight.
Yeah, I mean, I like the intensity that Cooper Webb has had the last 2 weekends early on, and that's where he needed to improve if he wants to win this championship and get the best of Jet Lawrence. So Jet Lawrence had a crafty little line right there. I think he was one of the first guys to do that, jumping over the wall jump, and he made up a lot of time and passed some really good guys. Number 1 right there, 94 of Ken Roczen. And they weren't making it easy. But this move right here, Weege, I think was a little out of pocket for Jet. I think he should have had patience right here. I really do. He had plenty of speed, and there was a lot of racing left right there, and he owned it.
Yeah, so he goes down, but not done. Starts closing back in and repassing some of the same riders.
Yeah, now he's got to go back and make up that lost time. And again, these guys aren't going to make it easy for him, but he gets a good run through the whoops right here. He's going to go to the outside and get a good drive of momentum to make the move back by Ken Roczen. Ken Roczen had a good night, all things considered, especially after going at that last chance qualifier.
Sexton has been the leader through all of this, but he comes so close to going down there, and that was not the only big mistake.
I can't tell you exactly how close he was to not crashing. Then he stalls it right here. Okay, and I'm surprised he got it back going quick. Remember in the heat race, he didn't get that engine refired back up that early. And this was a tricky situation right here. So he makes the move back past Cooper Webb. I'm like, okay, he's going to run off into the sunset now. There's no way Coop is going to be able to hang with him because Coop had a massive arm pump, I can tell, in his riding. But Cooper makes a pass back by, and these 2 rhythm lanes were absolutely treacherous.
Look how close it is. Webb makes that pass. Sexton then lost some ground. Sexton then closed back in. Lawrence at this point had made it to 3rd, but he was not going to challenge them from here on out. So it's down to these 2. They both won titles in this series. Look how close it is on the last lap, and Webb almost throws it away.
He almost lost it 100% right here, but this is great heads-up ride right here. He anticipates that the 1's going to try to sneak up the inside. Cooper Webb's way too snabby for that move.
Didn't leave the door open, and that was the finish. Half second, the final margin of victory. Webb over Sexton. They both needed that one. Only one of them can get it, though, and that was Cooper. Lawrence, as mentioned, was 3rd. That's the end of his 3-race win streak. Aaron Plessinger rode very well down the stretch. Stayed on Lawrence's rear fender to the end. 4th.
Yep. Good ride by Aaron Plessinger. I just feel like Plessinger's been back on the starts. Like he's just not up far enough in the pack for the main events. He's got to get up further. I think he can win another race.
Benny Bloss 12th, starting the second half of the field. Mitchell Oldenburg is now going to race 450s in the series after some 250 West races. Was 15th. Here's your Monster Energy 450 season standings. Webb goes from 21 down to 16 down on Lawrence, and Sexton picks up 2 on Lawrence as well, bringing it from 25 to 23. There's a surprising amount of races still left, by the way.
6 races left on the series, a lot of racing left. There's only 1 stadium that we're going to, and that's next weekend in St. Louis, that it's going to be covered. So Mother Nature still could play a massive part of what this points championship looks like. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But I go back to the grit that Cooper Webb had. He had massive arm pump. We talked about, I could see how he was coming out of the corners, kind of falling back, and it is extremely difficult to win in conditions like that. You're just basically along for the ride and doing the best that you can, and to be able to do that, you have to find ways to win when you have arm pump and you're just hanging on by a thread, and he did. He had a little bit of help, but that was also a great rebound and a great ride from Chase Sexton compared to last week. I loved what I saw from Chase Sexton this weekend.
Yeah, and he really needed that one, and a lot of it was determined in one particular section of this very rough racetrack. For more on that, here's Jason Thomas.
So I'm standing in the most demanding section of this Seattle Supercross track, and it was the sand, that same section where you saw Jet Lawrence jumping over the wall early in the main event, making pass after pass. Cooper Webb picked up on it, started utilizing it against Chase Sexton, and really Sexton never figured it out. I asked him on the podium, did you see your mechanic trying to get you the message to jump the wall? He said he never saw the pit board at all, and that's why you saw him diving into these ruts lap after lap and losing valuable time. Now the interesting thing is that Cooper Webb was unable to jump this wall late in the race, and Sexton line came back into the fold as the quicker line, and he almost used it to get around Webb late in the main event. But these sections, these really technical, rutted out sections where guys are innovating, but it doesn't always work, are often where the races are won and lost.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.